Hello and welcome to the program. I am DEJI360. The People's Democratic Party can no longer boast of Ebonyi State as one of its own following the defection of Governor David Umahi to the ruling All Progressives Congress. Ahead of his defection, there had been rumors that Umahi was pitching tent with the ruling party because he had been promised the party's presidential ticket in the forthcoming 2023 election. But Umahi, who is also the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, along with members of his cabinet, have refuted this, citing injustice to the Southeast by the PDP for their reasons for leaving the party. Let's take a listen to the governor now of that state, giving reasons for his action.
APC never promised me any position. They never promised Southeast any position. There was no such discussion. Since 1998-99, the Southeast people have supported PDP in all elections. It is absurd that since 1998, going to 2023, that Southeast will never be considered to run for presidency under the ticket of PDP. It's very absurd. And if people are shouting in this country of fairness, equity, and justice, and I stand in a place where such is not practiced, then I have to, re-examine my head.
Now, the Ebonyi State PDP lawmakers have, however, dissociated themselves from the governor's move, accusing him of betrayal. The caucus, led by the former governor of the state, Samegu, also insisted to remain loyal to members of the PDP. They actually addressed a press conference, and take a listen to what they had to say.
As Democrats, we concede Chief Umahi's right to join any political association of his choice. However, as federal lawmakers, we are not unaware of the Supreme Court decision that candidates are products of the political parties. What it means is that political office holders are not at liberty to migrate from one political platform to another, particularly when there is no division in their party.
Now, despite vowing to remain in the party, in a twist of event now, the PDP in Ebonyi State has suspended the 3 senators from the state and 5 House of Representative members over anti-party activities. And I'm talking about those lawmakers you just saw who were pledging their allegiance to the PDP and, of course, saying that they were not going to defect to the APC with the governor. So it's quite a surprise that the PDP in the state has now suspended all of them for anti-party activities, asking them to come and defend themselves. Now, let's discuss this issue further because it's generating a lot of controversy, especially in the PDP and the APC. We've seen a lot of back and forth over the issue from both sides now. But let's discuss it more. I'm now being joined on the program by Libros Oshoma, who is a lawyer and a political affairs analyst. He joins us via Skype from his home in Lagos. And right here in the studio, I have Nelson Ekujemi, who is a political analyst as well. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program. Libros, let me start with you. Any surprise at all that Governor Umahi defected to the APC? At least we all saw this coming anyway.
2019, it's been in the news that Umahi will move to the APC. Even from 2017, actually, a lot of people didn't even expect him to contest the election on the platform of PDP in 2019 general election. And then so defecting to the APC now, it's something we all already know. What this also just points out for me is that, consistent belief that there's basically no difference between the PDP and the APC in Nigeria. Yeah. So they are both platforms that politicians use, for their selfish gains to feather their own nest.
Could we say this is now a pointer that somehow the Southeast is beginning to wake up, to make a statement on the 2023 presidency? Because, look, as much as the governor tries to deny that this has anything to do with 2023, the truth is that he is interested. He definitely would be interested that someone from the Southeast becomes the next president, and if possible, he becomes the candidate of the APC?
Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't really say they are waking up, the politicians are waking up. You know, for most politicians, they live in denial until few months to election. You know, we see them, even when it is obvious, it's audible to the deaf that they're interested in an office, they would rather tell you, oh, they want to continually work for the people, and that the next election is not yet their focal point. Not too long ago also, Senator Abaribe did say that, you know, it will be unfair for any of the major political party not to zone their presidential ticket.
But then, how then do you reconcile, sorry to interject, how then do you reconcile that with the condemnation of Umahi? Because if Abaribe has said, and we've seen a lot of politicians from the Southeast come out to say, look, it will be unfair not to zone for the major political parties now, not to zone the presidency to the Southeast. So why then do you crucify a man for jumping to the other side, just to give his...
Umahi has a right to jump anywhere he wants to jump to. But to give the impression that a political party has been unfair to the Southeast when that office had not been zoned. The office had not been zoned by any party. It is not on record that APC had zoned the office to the Southeast. It's also not on record that PDP had zoned that office to any other place. So I had expected, being a politician, you begin to work from the inside if you feel you are interested in a seat, because election is about numbers. To expect that, I think what Umahi basically did was move into APC because he sees APC as the popular party for now, the party in government, and so the belief that, you know, what is in the party, the ruling party, it will be easy for him to win election from there. Let
me pause you there. Now, Nelson, is this a big fish for the APC?
Well, I don't think it's about Umahi as a person, as a big fish in the APC. I think it's about trying to change the political equation, because you recognize that Umahi has made it very clear that unless and until the PDP makes a formal declaration that the unwritten zoning policy of the party, that if the South has ruled for 8 years, automatically it will be the turn of the North, that Umahi is trying somehow, you know, to raise the consciousness of the average Igbo person that, look, we have suffered, we have pitched our tents, we have been beaten by the sun and the rain in the last 21 years or thereabout of the democratic process in 1999. And this party that we have invested our sweat and blood has not deemed it fit, as 2023 approaches. Maybe Umahi is privy to some information that we don't know.
Yes, and I was going to ask that, because, look, we all know Atiku Abubakar, for instance, has not hidden his desire to want to contest for the presidency again. We've seen subtle campaigns going on and all of that. And we know that the PDP, as it is today, whether we like it or not, Atiku Abubakar is a strong factor. And as a matter of fact, what I tell people is, as at this moment, if there was going to be a presidential primary in the PDP, and if Atiku was an aspirant in that primary, he would definitely win it. Could it be this is what Umahi saw and he decided to jump?
I strongly believe so. You just took it out of my mouth. Because as the party is presently, we all know that if Alhaji Atiku Abubakar throws his heart into the ring, even people from the Southeast extraction that have been mouthing, it is now our turn, you can be rest assured that some of them will toe the line of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And I think that is what Umahi is trying to raise the consciousness of the average Igbo persons too. That look, now in 2023, the ruling party, APC, even though she does not have that unwritten zoning formula, you know, and you recognize that it was the zoning formula that the APC used or leveraged on, you know, to emerge in 2015 when former President Goodluck Jonathan was accused of reneging on that arrangement. Yes. So, come 2023, you can be rest assured, if the Southeast does not start making those statements for now, whatever ambition a lot of the political gladiators from that region have been mounting will just amount to mere academic exercise.
Libros, what's your take on this?
Like I said earlier on, Umahi, I do not know what Umahi is privy to in the party. But for me, it amounts to political prostitution to jump from one party to another, all because
would you describe it as political prostitution? This is something we see almost every day, and you just said that there's no difference between the two political parties.
That's why I told you that they are all of our politicians, if not all of them, are prostitutes. So they masquerade their personal goals as the interest of the people. The APC that Umahi has moved into, APC also have people who have been in line, also would want to contest for the #1 office in the country. So for me, you remember, DG, sometimes last year, we did a program on this Igbo presidency, and we all concluded that it would be fair and equitable for
absolutely, and don't you think the more top Igbo politicians you have in the ruling party, the better, and the better their chances?
The question you should be asking yourself is it about the ruling party or about what you can bring to the table?
Liberals, I understand. Liberals, I understand you perfectly well. It's about what you can bring to the table, but we cannot discountenance the fact that the political party... Go on.
DG, if Buhari had decamped to PDP to contest the election, do you think he would have been president today? If Tinubu had, when he was the only opposition governor, if he had left his party and moved into the PDP, the way all other governors moved in, then the governors that moved into PDP with Tinubu, where are they today? So the question is, it's not about moving to the ruling party. It's about creating, Barrister Nelson raised a very vital point. It's about creating awareness for Igbo presidency. And you say it will be unfair and unjust for your party.
I understand.
When you abandon the party,
yes.
What you're doing when you abandon the party, all of the sweat that you have labored for in that party, you now go and queue up in another party, and you think it will be easy for you to get a ticket.
Liberals, I think, if you ask me, I think you're just painting an ideal situation, and that ideal situation doesn't happen in this case. If you ask me, I would say, no, listen, just listen. There is absolutely nothing wrong, even if he had done this for altruistic purposes, just for the presidency.
I agree
As
with
you said, he has
you.
the right. And politically speaking, it just might be a deft political move to go in there. Because you look at the APC today, look at the politicians from the southeast in the APC, you hardly can say you have some very top politicians from the southeast in the APC. So if you have a situation where the people of the southeast have decided, some of them have decided, look, let's go populate the APC and populate the PDP. That way we stand a better chance. Don't you think that might be what we are saying? But I'll come back to you. Nelson, what do you... Just hold on, I'll come back to you. What do you think, Nelson?
Well, I think what Umahi is trying to do, whether you want to crucify him or not, is to raise, like I said earlier on, to make a statement that, look, my people, watch this party that I've just... I'm not sure anybody has promised Umahi the presidential ticket in APC.
I doubt it.
And the fact of history, like as we sit here today, is that there are so many persons angling in the APC for the presidential ticket come 2022, 2023. But in the PDP, Umahi must have seen it, the handwriting on the wall. And with the clarion call all over the place that, look, it is only right, it is only in the interest of justice that the presidency in 2023 should go to the southeast. And knowing fully well his party, knowing the type of, the type of forces he has, and maybe he has seen, maybe, mark my words.
Because we do not know.
We don't have the fact. Maybe he has seen the handwriting on the wall that this is where my party is going. So that he will be the front runner, the person like maybe the John Baptist of Jesus Christ who raised alarm about the impending coming of...
Anyway, we still do not know. But yes. Let me get your own take now.
To add to the fact that there is also nobody in APC that had promised Umahi a presidential ticket.
Absolutely, he said
and
so.
like I said, Umahi has a right to join any party he wants to join. But to create the impression that he's leaving PDP because PDP has refused to zone the tickets.
And the point is, don't you think
that is where I have a problem?
Yes,
with.
and that's what I'm asking, and that's the question
because
I asked.
Where he's going,
hold on, Libros.
Let me finish so that where he's going to also had not, like I said, where he's going to also had not stated anywhere that they have zoned the ticket to the southeast. So we need to put all of this in
Libros,
in perspective.
Absolutely correct. But is there also a possibility that there might be more to these than meets the eye? There might be something we do not know. I just gave a typical example.
Yeah, quickly.
Hold on. I just gave a typical example. I said, look, we cannot deny the fact, yes, Atiku Abubakar is interested.
Let me address that issue. DEJI, if I have been in the same political party with you for 21 years, I should be able to approach you better than somebody have just been in the same political party with for 2 years. Atiku Abubakar has always been interested in ruling Nigeria. And as it stands, 2023 is not a year. Even if Atiku Abubakar, any party that gives Atiku Abubakar, quote me, any party that gives Atiku Abubakar ticket 2023, that party will not win 50% of the votes.
We never can be sure. You never can be so sure, Libros. Just hold. Libros, you never can be. I beg to disagree with you. I will quote you, but I will strongly. Libros, this is the point. Now, Libros,
what I expected them PDP to do.
Hold on.
Quickly, DEJI. DEJI.
Go on.
What I expected them in the PDP to do. How was Wike able to hijack the structure of the party from other members of the party? What I expected them in PDP to do. They have governors forum also. What I expected them to do. They are the ones that would vote. They are the delegates. PDP operates a delegate system. What I expected them to do, being the governors from the southeast, is to form an alliance and create a synergy together because they have been together. If you now decide you want to go seek your ambition somewhere else, free to go. But to now create the impression that PDP has made a statement already.
Libros, whatever it is, whatever it is, there are certain information that, to be candid, we're not privy to. And, the governor might just not be right. I believe he'd done this for his own personal reasons, and that it might have to do with the presidency of 2023 because he wants to run and he probably feels he has a better chance in the APC.
Just watch. He won't get.
Hold on. That he has a better chance in the APC than the PDP. But to say, Libros, that if any party gave Atiku Abubakar their ticket, that he would not get 50% of the vote, I would say you're completely wrong. Now, look at this scenario. Hold on, Libros, just hold on. Okay. Hold on, and I'm going to ask Nelson to also contribute. Picture this scenario, that the APC decides to zone the presidency to the south, and then the PDP decides to keep the presidency in the north and gives the ticket to the PDP. How do you think that election will play out?
It is goodbye to PDP.
And I'll tell you that is absolutely not true. Because you know why? We still play primordial politics in this country. So, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You know what? The North will completely align with Atiku Abubakar. And then you cannot discountenance. Hold on. You cannot discountenance the votes that Atiku Abubakar got from the North in the last election.
Allow me.
Libros, hold on. You've actually had your say. Let me hear from you. Let me hear. Hold on, you've had your say. Let me hear from Nelson.
Well, like we have rightly said, we don't have our fingers on the fact for the defection of Umahi. Yeah. But for me, I think what Umahi is trying to do, maybe Umahi is trying to expose the hypocrisy of the PDP, how it has treated.
We don't know.
It's
maybe.
But
it's all in the realm of
but like we said earlier on, Umahi could be playing the role of a John the Baptist. That look, I said it 3 years ago that this party, if it comes to pass, that my party where I belong to before is not interested in the political fortune of the Southeast.
Anyway,
and that is why I've come here.
Anyway, gentlemen, unfortunately,
Quickly,
let's take a shot. Yeah, very quickly.
No, I must say this. Quickly.
Okay,
let me tell you.
Please.
Gone are the days when only one zone will produce a president of the country.
You are absolutely correct. But
that's what.
Look,
So,
Liberals, you are absolutely correct. But I am saying,
me finish.
Go on.
If the North, if APC zones their presidential ticket to the southeast, for example, and the southeast and the southwest decide to work together, all they just need is a little portion from the north, and they are home and dry.
You know what? But let me tell you something. Let me finish. That working together will not happen.
Fall on this break.
Go.
If the PDP decides to now zone their tickets to the north, with what we are seeing, the kind of governance we are seeing now, people want a paradigm shift, even from the north. They also want a paradigm.
Liberals, on this issue, I totally disagree with you, and I think you missed the mark. You don't get it. You actually don't get it.
You are the one that is not getting it.
Honestly, you don't get it. You actually don't get it. No matter what, you seem to be relegating the kind of politics we play in this country. The politics of ethnicity, the politics of religion, and all of that. So you'll be making a listen, personally, what I want to see is I want to see both political parties zone the presidency to the southeast.
Look,
and that is the only way. Hold on. That is the only way. That is the only way that is the only way power can shift to the south.
The beautiful bride.
Liberals, let's take a break. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. On DEJI360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent. Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country.
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly. God forbid that I go to join that
DEJI360, providing clarity to issues.